All right, good Tuesday evening, everybody. This is Chief Meteorologist Mallory Schnell at WHAS 11 in Louisville, Kentucky. Thanks for hopping on this live stream. We've been tracking rounds of showers and thunderstorms across southern Indiana and Kentucky off and on throughout the course of the day today. And right now we have some pretty heavy rain that's rolling through our area as we speak at this hour. Thankfully, nothing severe, but that doesn't mean, of course, it's not impactful. So we're going to take a look at some rainfall reports so far today, the radar, of course, the hour-by-hour forecast, and the 7-day forecast, because we do have even more rain on the way this week. But we're going to start off with a live look outside from our Hughes and Coleman camera. This is overlooking downtown Louisville, part of our Shriners Children's Camera Network. You can see lots of raindrops on the camera lens there. So definitely a soggy evening, a good one to stay indoors if you can manage it. Now, in terms of how much rainfall we've picked up since midnight, obviously it's not a one-size-fits-all graphic here. We have the greens and the yellows, the heaviest rainfall. You can tell it's a little bit lighter off to the southeast. And these are just some rainfall amounts as of the 7 o'clock hour, so it's really not taking into account, for instance, Louisville, what we've picked up with this band that's rolling through as we speak. I'm expecting that number to really increase here with the latest update at the top of the hour. But we've seen some 1+ inch totals, some 1.5 inch totals. And after all is said and done this week, we are expecting anywhere between 1 to 3 inches of rainfall across our particular area. As I mentioned, obviously those totals will range, and we'll see a range anywhere between that 1 to 3 inch total there. But I don't want to say much needed rainfall, but it's been a pretty quiet November for us so far. Soggy weather. So obviously today very soggy. Wednesday mostly dry. In fact, I'm thinking about taking that rain chance off of there on Wednesday. Just looks like a cloudy day, foggy conditions, maybe a little bit of mist with the fog, but we're not tracking rain showers for your Wednesday. That changes again Thursday. So by Thursday afternoon, evening, Thursday night, off and on Friday. Friday's looking pretty similar to today in terms of just off and on showers and thunderstorms. Some of those storms could be heavy at times, of course, and we'll watch for the potential of any stronger storms there. And then it does look like these systems will finally roll out of here as we head into Saturday morning and then taper off Saturday afternoon. So some drier time just in time for the weekend. But let's take a look at that Max HD radar. So we had been dealing with spottier activity through the afternoon. Obviously, Louisville, we had some widespread rainfall. It was mid to late morning around lunchtime. And then some spottier activity through the afternoon. And then the spottier activity became more linear and just rolled through over the Ohio here within the last hour. Obviously, you're seeing a lot of oranges and reds, heavy rainfall, getting a report of pouring rain in Valley Station. Heavy rainfall anywhere you're seeing red. So that's a lot of our area here in Jefferson County, heading toward Mount Washington soon. So Valley Station, Fern Creek, obviously seeing heavy rainfall over to Shelbyville. If we do zoom out, you can tell this line stretches over to Frankfort. So already rolled through areas like Newcastle, Oldham County. Seeing more scattered activity around Brandenburg, over to Perry County, south of Corydon as of right now. Let's move on down to the south. Anything that we're seeing south of the parkways or around E-Town is pretty scattered, but obviously all of this activity will continue to push south and southeastward over the next few hours here. So in terms of storm reports, Kentuckiana, we've gotten pretty lucky in the fact that we haven't had any severe weather. Once again, there's a difference between severe and impactful weather. It's pouring rain right now, so not great weather to be out on the roads, for instance. But thankfully, no severe storms in the sense of quarter-sized hail or 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts today. It does look like we did get some hail reports up to the north Brownstown. Oh, inch hail. That would be severe, but that wasn't warned. 0.8 inch hail. So we got some decent reports here in our far northern counties. North Vernon, some hail. I'm not surprised by that one because we did have a tail end of a severe storm. A lot of this hail was really around Bloomington, Indianapolis, western Indiana, and into Illinois, where we were starting to see some smaller cells that popped up this afternoon and were able to really tap into that hail threat. That continued east toward the Cincinnati metro. But here's that big picture view of the satellite and radar. So we had a decent, I'm actually going to back this up a little bit. We had this particular, you see this right here? Oh, let me put some arrows on it. This storm complex that crossed from Illinois into Indiana, it bowed out a bit. So it did have some wind to it, rolled into the Cincinnati metro, some hail as well, and has continued to push southeast from there and weaken, thankfully. But in terms of what we're seeing, here is the tornado threat all the way in far western Kentucky. So I can show you the SPC outlook for today. I'm sure you saw this floating around social media because yesterday we got included in what's called a marginal risk, which I don't like the wording, but level 1 out of 5 is what we say here on the map for severe storms today. And usually if you're in a level 1, it's a very conditional threat. You know, there's not a lot of confidence that we're going to see severe weather. It's, hey, you might have a couple of strong to severe storms that pack a punch with hail or gusty winds. Now, with a setup like what we had today, you had a warm front, you have an area of low pressure. There's a lot of something that's called shear. So that's your wind energy or your spin. Shear works to organize storms, can rotate storms, give you that tornado threat, and also a hail threat. But we didn't have much in what's called instability, so storm fuel. But you can tell where that is maximized off to the southwest. So that's why they're under that level 2 out of 5 in the yellow, more so in Paducah area, and why right now we have a tornado warning all the way in the corner of the state that's about to move over into Tennessee. So there's just like this very small pocket here of rotation and fuel, once again, staying off to our southwest. But today in Louisville, we only made it into the lower 50s much of the day, chilly 40s, lots of, chilly rain out there, some thunderstorms as well. But even at this hour, take a look down at Bowling Green, 68 degrees, 72 in Fort Campbell, 70 in Paducah. So that's where that fuel is coming from. You just have that warm front that's trying to lift, but kind of got stuck over or stalled over our area. In fact, I can zoom in a little bit closer to what we're seeing in our particular viewing area here. 43 in Madison, 57 in Litchfield, 58 in Hardinsburg. So a huge gradient of temperatures just over our small viewing area. But the warmest and most unstable air down to our south and southwest today. So that's also where the highest amount of moisture or dew points or humidity is located in the green, and once again where that yellow is on the map. So for us, yes, heavy downpours out there. You're probably hearing it pour. Hopefully you don't have to get out in it for the rest of the night. Nothing severe, but definitely seeing more of those reds on the radar. These storms kind of became more linear and are going to continue to push south and southeast tonight, likely wrapping up during our 11 o'clock newscast tonight. We dry out, but then fog looks to form as we head into tonight, and lows try to drop into the 40s and 50s. And then tomorrow is trending dry but very dreary. We're going to be in between two storm systems on Wednesday. So temperatures likely hanging out in the 50s. I think I might have to trim back our temps just a hair tomorrow because we're going to be locked in the cloud cover here and the fogginess, it looks like. And then heading into Thursday into Friday, that's our next round of rain. So 2 main rounds this week. The first one was today. The second one is later on Thursday into Friday. So this particular model kind of has it coming in from the south and southwest, nudging in, but then really taking over Thursday night. And then obviously this is what's called a low resolution model. So this makes it look like it is raining all day Friday. I think it's going to be similar to today once we get closer and we can have what's called high resolution model data, where it looks more like what the radar looks like. But off and on showers, some embedded thunderstorms there on Friday. We'll have to watch for any kind of strong threat in terms of storm threat or heavy rainfall threat as well. And then that does look to wrap up, push off to our east and southeast Saturday morning. And that should give us more dry time throughout the weekend. So Here's that 7-day forecast here. Cloud cover tomorrow, foggy but mostly dry, 59, 61 on Thursday with rain moving in afternoon, evening, overnight. Off and on rain Friday. You can tell there's this little navy banner on the 7-day forecast. We also had that for today. So this is just letting you know that it's disruptive weather. When we turn that red, when we turn the day red, that's really an alert day. That's when it's like, hey, we're expecting widespread severe weather or widespread flooding or something of that nature. But this is the step below that. So disruptive weather on Friday. We still have high school football playoffs Friday night that look very rainy. That lingers Saturday morning before it wraps up. We have some drier time this weekend and early next week. And then we could be tracking more rain Tuesday and Wednesday of Thanksgiving week before we start to near a cool down. So one thing I do want to just pitch very quickly here, and then I'll go back to the radar and wrap things up for you guys tonight. But we do have a new weather streaming show called Weather or Not on our WHAS 11 Plus app. And we have a segment called Ask the Meteorologist. So if you've ever had a general weather question that you've wanted answered, be sure to text them to us, 502-582-7290. You can also send your weather photos to that number on your screen as well. So if you got hail, if you're in southern Indiana and got some hail earlier today, send those our direction. Would love to see them. A lot of reports of pouring down rain. Yes, that's what we're seeing this evening. So yeah, Shelbyville, you all are right in it right now. But you can tell there is an end to it on the north side of this. So we have this broken line of heavy rainfall from Meade County through southern Jefferson County, moving into Bullitt County, over toward Spencer, Shelby County, and over to Frankfort. That is all just heavy rainfall, some rumbles of thunder probably there. Not a ton of lightning with this, but definitely rumbles of thunder, heavy rainfall. I'll have to watch if any of these cells that we're seeing to the northwest of Evansville kind of pipe up and get strong as they try to push southeast. But the main concern of stronger storms is right here in the southwest corner of the state. So that's where we're seeing any kind of that shear or fuel. But obviously, as soon as the sun sets, you lose a lot of that fuel. So expect these storms to continue to push south and southeastward over the next few hours here. Heavy rainfall is really your greatest threat. I actually did want to pull up the traffic map just very quickly. And you can overlay it here. Ooh, we got more accidents. You can overlay it here with the radar. We only had 2 accidents when I checked this before we hopped on. Now we have 4. This looks like 264 at Dixie Highway. There's an 1-lane blocked. Waterston eastbound at Dixie. This one's near the airport. 65 northbound from Grade Lane, blocked due to a crash. There's 71 northbound near Zorn. There's an accident, and there's also construction around there. There's a lot of construction around the town. That paired with it being dark outside, rainy, slick, hydroplaning. Please be cautious. And there's a crash in southern Indiana on Pennsylvania Avenue at Capitol Hill Drive. But yeah, thankfully, guys, nothing severe. I know people always worry, which I get, when there's even just the smallest risk of severe weather. But it looks like that was mainly actually to our north, surprisingly today, and then also to our southwest. I'll keep an eye on these in case they do get rowdy at any point, but really what we're looking at here through the rest of the evening, heavy rainfall, some rumbles of thunder, just a nice night to stay indoors if you can manage it. But we're going to wrap up this stream now. Thank you for hopping on. Once again, Chief Meteorologist Mallory Schnell here with WHAS 11 in Louisville. I'll keep an eye on the radar for you. I'll post updates on social media. My Facebook page is Meteorologist Mallory Schnell as needed throughout the evening. And also, of course, I'll be back on air tonight on WHAS 11 live at 11 p.m. But stay dry, stay safe, and have a great rest of your Tuesday evening.